All right, I think we're live, Joe.
We on? This is it?
We are
All
live.
right, guys. Welcome in. Celtics postgame show. Sunday evening edition. Celtics do it in dramatic fashion. Jason Tatum, another game winner, added to his resume, 122 to 120.
Put it on the list.
He had a huge game tonight, but of course, Jaylen Brown did as well. 31 points from Jaylen. We got 24 from Jason Tatum. I'm, of course, Josue Pavone. Jimmy Toscano is here. Bobby Manning. And we got a special guy in. This guy needs no introduction, but he'll
You're
get
not
one
my
anyway,
dad.
of course.
Hey, you're not my dad. Who is this guy?
He gets one anyway.
Where is your dad?
Welcome in. How you been, Nick? I haven't seen you in a while.
Danger.
I've been good. I've been watching you guys. That's the only way I see you guys is on this show. It's like quarantine.
Keep it that way. Keep it that way.
Just gotta tune in.
All right, well, what do we think about this win? What a win from the Celtics here. I mean, this one, they really had to fight for this one from start to finish. It wasn't pretty at times, but I think the second unit impressed me throughout. What do you guys want to start with this? Let's go with Jaylen, right? Jaylen Brown, another huge performance for him, 31 points. He nearly had 30 through three quarters here. And, of course, he's shooting from over 80% in this one, 81.3 to be exact. Bobby, let's start with you. Jaylen Brown, of course, hit a big shot down the stretch. Of course, Jason Tatum's game winner. They had to fight for this one, though. It is the Detroit Pistons, but how do you feel about this win?
Oh, you got to feel great about it. The way they scrapped this one out, the playmaking down the stretch, I think you could say definitively that between Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, this is the best playmaking between those two that you've seen in one individual game. I mean, it's an obvious with Tatum breaking 13 assists there, but we got to talk about Brown and where he's being, ranked in the league right now. We already got Jeff Goodman for his pregame or for his preseason prediction there. That one.
You could have predicted that one, though.
During the third quarter, I shot that out on the group thread. I'm like, listen, why isn't the NBA or at least the national media talking more about what Jaylen Brown's doing now? Well, he's hovering over 200 points. This early in the season,
leads the league in scoring.
Is this it, guys? Are we going to tune in Monday morning? And is Jaylen Brown going to be the headline that we see on ESPN?
I hope not. I hope we keep flying under the radar with Jaylen because he's surprising teams. The scouting report is coming out, baby. It's coming quick. So I think it's already been here. He's adjusting and showing that he can adjust on the fly. I don't need Stephen A to be screaming about Jaylen. Let's just keep seeing him rack up the big points, big shots.
Well, if we
Jimmy, what's your take on this, Jimmy? What do you think?
Yeah, well, we should note that our good friend John, the boomer of the group,
your father,
couldn't make it today. He got stuck covering Pat, so he wanted to make sure that we let everybody know that last show he called it. He said it needs to be Jaylen and Jason down the stretch taking the shots. Nobody else should take a shot, in his words, ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
And if he didn't call it, he'll take them.
We saw Celtics with it. That's true.
Yep. And so shout out to him. Scorching hot take that Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown should be taking shots down the stretch. Absolute fire take by him. All the credit in the world. But
spreadsheets are out, baby.
Exactly. I mean, if you're a Celtics fan watching this game, I'm sure we'll get into the defense. Bobby was pulling his hair out all game because there's a defense in this one, as he has been. But the way they were hitting shots, their go-to guys down the stretch, Jaylen Brown. I mean, this guy, what else can we even say about him so far? I mean, automatic from within three-point range, literally automatic. And his three-point shooting is on fire right now. So, I mean, he's scoring from all over. He is the 1A or 1B now on this team. I don't even know if we have ourselves a LeBron MJ debate going on here in Celtics Nation between Tatum and Brown, but it's a good thing. We're not trying to pit the two against each other. We're just saying that the way Jaylen Brown's playing, he can certainly be depended on to carry this team on a night if Jason Tatum isn't. Tonight they both were, and that's great because they're a two-headed monster now. And you needed that from them because again, it's a team that isn't the deepest team. Last year it was very top heavy, and obviously with Kemba Walker out and Gordon Hayward gone, you need to rely on those guys a little bit more.
Now, I saw, too, that as Brown gets through this first stretch here, leading the league in points, now Bradley Beal's right there. He'll probably pass him later tonight. But the amount of pressure that's on these guys, Nick, and to see that this is the most ever by a Celtics player to start a year through many games, he passed Larry Bird in that regard, and the efficiency that he's doing with I mean, 6 for a center. And this is a guy taking threes. This is a guy taking mid-rangers. He's shooting over 70% from mid-range. I mean, have you ever seen anything this efficient from a Celtics player over a stretch?
Well, the double teams will come, guys. Like, let's not get too excited.
But they're already doubling Tatum. I mean,
I don't know. I'm not seeing like aggressive Tatum-like defense on Jalen yet. I mean, that's the difference with Bird and what's
Oh
Zeke.
God.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Get him started. Come on, we don't have to go that far back, man. Come on. I think
anyway, I don't know what that was. So
we always knew Jalen Brown was efficient. You know, I just think now we're seeing it on a larger scale because he's getting more touches and he's being more assertive. And what I love to see also is, man, Jason Tatum setting up Jalen Brown for that 3-point shot down the stretch, whereas he could have easily taken it himself. But that's, again, to what Bobby said in the beginning, the playmaking side of Tatum and Brown, both of those guys playing off of each other and getting others involved. It's the recipe for success. It wasn't as pretty as you wanted to see it against the Pistons, but it was what you want to see down the stretch, to what John Zans was saying a couple of nights ago.
Yeah, I love the trust. The trust from Tatum to Brown is that was the – not take away that it was a game winner or, you know, the tying. Actually, we put them up 2. That was a dagger, man, shooting a 3. Take that away. I mean, that was the takeaway of the game. You know, biggest shot of the game, short of Tatum's game winner. And Tatum gave it up and gave it to Brown. And where was Detroit? Nobody was even near Jalen, which sometimes makes the shot more difficult.
Yeah, no question. That's true. But you know what? Let's transition to the defense. Let's talk about the 2 big starting lineup and what we saw from the starters in the first quarter and what we saw in the third quarter. Bobby, let's start with you. What's your takeaway? I mean, a lot of it was made about if Steven's going to stick with this in Detroit or maybe after Detroit. Where do you think he stands now with the 2 big lineup, and how do you feel about it after this win against the Pistons?
Well, I haven't liked it. All right, I know Jimmy was asking in the preseason, or it might have been John. I'm always misassigning blame here, but I think it was Jimmy who asked. You see them going with Tice and Thompson together because we're all figuring out what that third wing was going to be. And I was stunned that they've not only gone with Tice at the 4, but they've rode with it so strongly, going 11 minutes a game with it. Brad was asked about it. He's been asked about it several times over the last few media availabilities. And he's standing by it, but it feels like he's starting to lose a little bit of trust here. Let me know what you guys think.
I mean,
I think it's, to be honest with you, that it's probably been too inconsistent to draw a conclusion. But maybe that is the conclusion. The first half start was not due to, what alignment we were in or the double bigs or anything like that. It was the fact that we just stunk at the start of the game. Second half, we started with way more, pep and emphasis, and we were much better. Go back to the Indiana games, very similar. One half good, other half not so good. So, obviously, there will be times that we'll utilize that. There will be times where we won't. But that's not, I thought that best way to say it is that was 5 people. That was not 2.
So I think it's the same story tonight. He was obviously talking about the game the Celtics lost on Friday, but first half, absolute disaster to start this game. They give up that massive run. I think Detroit was 9 of 11 to start this game against that lineup. Yeah. And then second half, they come out and they were looking pretty good. In fact, I think Scal pointed it out. And Nick, you've loved Scal's color commentary, haven't you? The one thing I loved that he said tonight was rolling Tice to the sidelines into the extra pressure that Tatum's getting on the pick and roll and freeing up Tristan Thompson underneath. That actually worked pretty well to start the third quarter. So it's brutally inconsistent. But at this point, where else are you going to go with the starting lineups, especially now Jeff Teague could be hurt. He picked up an injury in that fourth quarter. So they don't have a ton of options there, but it's not going well. It's awkward. It's tough to defend perimeter players with Daniel Tice. You saw Tice guarding Jeremy Grant to start this one. I don't like it, but where else are you going to go, Jimmy, in terms of starters?
I'll be honest. I just got booted during that, so I don't know.
It's not about who starts the game. It's about who ends the game.
Well, who ended it tonight? We had Semi out there.
I'm using a Brad Stevens cliche, guys.
I can't hear Nick. Hold on. I got to bounce out and come back.
Well, Shemi earned his stay. You know, those 3-pointers. I mean, again, the second unit, I was impressed with what they were able to do on both ends in the first half. But then in the second half, you have Shemi knock back-to-back threes and then follow it up with the third in that fourth quarter. I mean, as much as we say we don't quite know what to expect from this starting lineup, sometimes we don't know what to expect from the second unit and what sort of production we're going to get from them.
Yep. And Semi was a huge surprise tonight. He allows you to get into smaller lineups on the wing. You know, you don't have to play those two bigs. Nick, do you like two bigs? Do you not?
Normally I do. I hate small ball, but it's not worked out to the way that I would have liked it to, or I think Brad had planned it to. So you got to make a change. I mean, I know everybody here is stoked up about this win, and I'm pretty, it was a good game, but they should have blown these guys into Mars. Detroit should no longer be on the map after how they embarrassed them on New Year's Day. To come down to a game winner by Tatum, sorry to be Debbie Downer, guys, wah, but this team's got problems, man.
All right, let's see what Jimmy thinks, Jimmy. What do you think of the two bigs in the starting five? Has your opinion changed on it at all?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously changed a little bit since we're seeing the production, but listen, it's a new look for them. You didn't have that look pretty much at all last year. You didn't have that option to do that. So it's not like you can just blame this all on Thompson and Tice. I mean, Brown and Tatum and whether it's Smart or whoever, they're all getting used to having that second big man out there. So I think there's definitely some growing pains there. It's an option. It's not something that the Celtics have to do. You don't have to play with that starting lineup. You have some interchangeable pieces that you can work in, and I think eventually they will go matchup based with it. Wow, that was a mean comment right there that got posted.
But Nick put that up himself. How?
That's my burner account.
You agree with the take?
Nick,
you agree with the take?
So.
But listen, I mean, yeah, I think if anyone's noticing the issues with it, it's Brad Stevens. So, I mean, I know some people say we might not be critical of Brad on this show as much as we should be, but willing to give him the opportunity to mix and match with these guys and see what he's got to work with. Because listen, it's not the finished product team right now. You're missing a massive piece in Kemba Walker, so that is going to change.
But Jimmy, there's not much heart.
Well, there's
not much heart coming from your screen, Nick. I can barely get a sentence out of you without. I feel like you're gonna keel over.
How did you snatch my Brockton Wi-Fi? And I'm crystal clear.
Why is my Wi-Fi messed up? Do I not look right?
You look white as a ghost. I don't know. Where's the white balance on that screen, dude? Anyways, talking about no life. I know you might keel over any second.
I don't know, but all I'm saying is
need some energy.
Where's the energy? Where's the motivation? Where
Nick takes first step back, he's gone.
I don't know what you want, Nick. I don't know what you want. You want them to come out and like cheerleader squad coming out with a bunch of energy.
I mean, look at what they did with Milwaukee, Jimmy.
Nick, they won the game. They won the game today. They fought hard. They came back from down
against a donut team.
All right, well, let's
it's the NBA.
Nick, let's focus on the positive because
it's the NBA. Yeah, they won the game. I mean, we're 2 weeks into the regular season. Guys are getting used to playing again, getting used to play with each other. I mean, you got 25 minutes from Pritchard tonight, a rookie that nobody even knew who the hell he was a month ago. You're getting contributions from. I mean, Semi played a great game down the stretch. Had huge threes coming off the bench for them.
Semi should have 30 points.
I want to get back to the second unit, but let's stick with the starting five because there's two things that stood out to me, which I like. When this is running smoothly, you can see the benefits of having those two bigs in there. Double screen on Marcus Smart, penetrating, had options, whether he has a contested layup, which he did make, by the way, because his numbers heading into this one did not look good in the paint. Shooting wise, all around, but the shooting numbers in the paint is what concerned me the most. Marcus has to hit those shots. And if he doesn't, he has those guys to rebound, but you also have options at the corners or at the wing positions for open looks. Who are the guys that need to knock those shots down? Jalen, whether it's Jalen or Tatum. I mean, it's when the offense when it runs smoothly that way, it looks great. Another thing too, when Tice is knocking down that mid range, whether it's the three or the mid range, all of a sudden they're a tougher team to guard. But it's just the inconsistency you're getting from Tice. You're not quite sure what direction you're going to go.
So this is the point we made after the last game. Who's going to be that fifth guy in with the starting lineup? Grant was not an option, and he struggled in the later stretch of that game. He's a minus 15 per 100 to start this year. And we're all asking, should it be Neesmith? Should it be, I don't know, maybe it is Tice on that fourth spot. But Semi Ojeleye comes out in this one, and I'm going to keep hyping him up whenever he shows us something.
Yeah, you are.
Goes 4-3, closes the game. Not great defensively, but gives you a little more offense than Grant's been giving you. He might be the best you have in terms of a closing lineup here. Now, Josue, I think Nick said this at the beginning of the show, double big's fine to start. You do it 10 minutes, you survive, you get maybe 7 good minutes out of them, you're good to go. What you need is a closing lineup, and Semi showed that he can be part of that closing lineup tonight because he's a sturdy defender. He lets you play with 3 interchangeable wings on the sideline, and he's hitting threes. I think this guy's only.
Did you guys catch Brad doing a little offense defense with him down the stretch? I mean, he was getting in there, just for defensive purposes.
I mean, listen, this goes back to what we said last game. You
Zero for Grant tonight.
You want to put Semi in the game late, that's fine, but don't tell me it's because he hits threes. Semi should not be taking shots at the end of the game, and he didn't tonight.
Oh, here we go again.
Absolutely not. I mean, it was Brown and Tatum, and as it should have been. Maybe smart if you absolutely have to break glass.
You and
scenario.
John. You and John.
That's how it has.
You guys want.
You think
these players with miles of space to just catch the ball and make another pass when they're wide open. Fire away, and he hit him.
I'm fine with that, but you're talking about a closing lineup. You're talking about the last few minutes of the game. I mean, Semi's in there middle of fourth quarter, and great job he did. I'm not taking anything away from him tonight. But at the end of the game, you want your go-to guys down the stretch in there, it's Tatum, Brown, it's Smart, even though he can take, pretty awful shots. Not so much this year. I will say his shot selection has been pretty awesome. So I have no real issues there. John is a little bit more on that extreme end where he doesn't literally want anyone taking a shot, where I will accept shots taken from open players, but I want the looks, first look, second look, hell, third, fourth, and fifth looks to be Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown right now, because those are your hot players. Those are the guys who expect the ball to go in right now. I mean, how can you want anyone else shooting the ball but Jaylen Brown right now? I mean,
all right, I get what you're saying, Jimmy. Obviously, that's a fair point, but to Bobby's point as well, I think there's sort of a balance in there. There's a medium where you can see the Celtics realistically are going to go in, because that's what Brad Stevens' offense has always been like, right? It may not look as great now. Obviously, he used to have way more other options besides Tatum or besides the 2 best players, but that's what he has right now. So it's kind of tough to gauge when and where Marcus Smart is going to be allowed to take that shot, or when fans are going to lose their mind if he makes it, or if he misses it, or if he makes it. You're not quite sure if you want him to shoot it at all. I've always been the guy who's never been against Marcus Smart taking open shots.
I'm with you, Josue.
But if he's dribbling 5-6 times and chucking them, that's a different shot,
I agree. I'm with Josue on that.
That's right. Thank you, Nick. And
you're welcome.
Well, that's actually
Nextel FaceTime or whatever that your throwback.
I'm trying to fix my. I may have to switch to my iPad in a moment because this
Nick chiming in from the
brand new computer.
Mr. CLNS pulling up with that connection, man.
A brand new computer. I don't get it.
Honestly, he looks like a ghost of Christmas past. Like he's just
barely. Look at me. If I didn't have saturation, you would look like Casper every game.
Nick, did you steal the company? I'm just kidding. All right.
I mean, how are we not going to talk about Jason Tatum yet and what he did tonight? I think this was
I was about to get into it, actually, because, down the stretch, tie game, my motto, if the game is tied, I don't mind Jason Tatum getting that shot. I just care about what quality shot he gets. That was good. That's good Tatum, right? He didn't wait till the very last second. Took his time with that one and was patient and got a good look.
Yeah, leave a little chance for an offensive rebound right there. If you have 4 seconds left,
right.
There's actually a possibility of that. That's another thing they didn't do on Friday. They left too few seconds left on the clock, but there was less time there. I mean, his passing just blows me away. 12 assists. When they drafted this guy, did you ever imagine him ever having 12 assists in a game? I mean, this is just mind-blowing, the amount and the speed at which he's become a great playmaker. He darted that on a line across the court to Brown for that shot before his own game winner, and he had another pass like that to Semi before. These skip passes that I always imagine him being like a great secondary playmaker off the roll, finding guys to either side of him. Mm-hmm. But he's creating off the dribble at a high rate right now. And, Nick, I'm concerned as you are about the defense of this team, the urgency. But when it comes to the offense, the roles that everybody's setting themselves into, Tatum is that primary playmaker. Brown is the secondary scorer. Smart taking less shots. I mean, this has been so quick that they've set into their roles on offense, and it's so smooth on that end. Like, say what you want about the defense the last couple of nights, but they're getting everything they want on offense.
Yeah, but I mean, when they're hitting threes, for sure, I would agree with that. I think that when the three ball's off, it doesn't look quite as pretty.
That's a good point, because they were efficient from behind the arc. I mean, they were already in double digits. They already knocked down I want to say 9 or 10 3-pointers by halftime. I mean, that's when the Celtics are really rolling. That's a tough Celtics team to beat. But hey, to credit to the Detroit Pistons, they were there every step of the way.
Oh yeah. I mean, you talk about, and I think Tristan Thompson said this after practice yesterday. He talked about teams getting up to face the Celtics, and I think we're in the tornado here, so sometimes negativity gets overwhelming. I know you guys are going to all laugh at me. I'm usually positive. This season, I've been a little negative, but the point is, the teams are getting pumped up to play the Celtics. You saw it last game versus Game 1 versus Detroit. This game 2, really, I mean, honestly, taking away the hot take BS, they should have blown them out of the water, but Detroit played a great, great game. And I mean, that's really what, when all is said and done, did Boston come out as intense as I would have liked to see them come out? No, but at the same time, Detroit did, again, 2 games in a row. And Blake Griffin was back, and Grant had to go back to the bench. So, and down the stretch, you finally saw execution. Really, because that Milwaukee shot that Tatum had, that was not even a play. That was just a good winger, if you want, you know what I mean? Tonight you saw execution, which has been lacking, has been uber frustrating early on in this season. Guys, I'm going to back out for a moment to fix this problem.
Yeah, take your time.
We were just teasing you, man.
Take my time. No, it's brutal, man. I mean, I can't believe that it's doing this. So I'll be right back, guys. All right.
I mean, you should probably update your iPhone 4.
Hey, chat room. While I'm gone, make sure you talk about how wonderful John is.
Hey, Nick, you might just have to take the plastic wrapper off your if you got a new laptop. You probably still got the plastic wrapper on there.
Yeah, right.
Unbelievable. This is why you can't have a boomer on the show. If you put a boomer on the show, it takes him 45 minutes to figure out the Wi-Fi.
Well, it's unfortunate, because I was going to get into the whole how LeBron. I was actually going to piggyback over with that era and talk about how LeBron.
I'll talk LeBron. I'm not gone yet.
Oh, there he is.
Oh,
okay.
God. Oh, God, he's not
I was
dead.
going to get into how LeBron. I think LeBron James, the era that Jason Tatum grew up watching LeBron James, I think it has a big part to do with this, right? LeBron sort of made it cool to get 12, 13 assists to go with your 40 points, right? Whereas the Jordan era, or guys that came before him, it was like, no, just score. Don't worry about everybody else, because Jordan showed us that you have to just score. And I think that Jason Tatum, there's something to that,
Kobe's another guy. You just had to
Kobe's
score.
Another one. But Kobe started being he started passing the ball more once he got Gasol, the Gasol era.
No, I mean, the onus has always been on a lead player on the team to be able to use their gravity to have other guys score off of that. And that's always going to be true. It's always been true. And guys who couldn't do it, I don't remember watching Jordan all that much, but Kobe was always kind of bashed for that. He was trying to take too many shots where he wasn't able to, create as much off of them. Now, later in his career, he does a better job with that. I'm just so stunned that Tatum, in, what are we talking about, year 4 now, is already able to do this at such a high rate. Now, the turnovers are still there, but on a night like tonight, they're down a little bit. And this is going to be, Nick's freaking out. Fans are freaking out. I'm mad about the defense, but look around the league right now. Everybody's 500. Everybody's having weird losses. Yeah. The team's brutally injured. You're missing Kemba. You're missing all these other guys. Yeah. I think it's going to be more beneficial. Say you get through 10, 20 games, you're 500. What Brown and Tatum get out of the stretch through highs and lows is going to make them even better come playoff time.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. This is the first time in both their careers where they've really both been in the driver's seat, because you don't have a guy like Kyrie, or you don't have a guy like Kemba, or whoever it was before those, whoever it may be. These guys are clearly, they're the 1-2 guys. They're going to go as far. Your Celtics are going to go as far as they take you, more than ever. So it's great to have them experience this type of role. It's especially at such a young age, and not only experience it, but like live up to it. Like they're excelling in it. Yeah, you can look at the record and say, oh, they're only 4-3, but that's, in my opinion, to no fault of their own. I mean, I think they're really outperforming in a lot of games. Certainly, Jaylen Brown is outperforming all expectations. Not to say that the expectations were low either. I mean, that's how good he's playing right now. So I think it's great to see. I'm sure you wanna harp on the defense. Go ahead. I mean, you won't hear me disagree with you. But like Bobby said, I mean, we're early on in the season here. Find me a team that's like balls out playing defense right now, and like I don't see it. I think that will come at a certain point in the season. Now, you don't want to develop bad habits, obviously. So if that's something that you start to see, then Brad Stevens really needs to get tough on these guys. But right now, it's nothing that I'm like hitting the panic button about. I want to see them be able to score. That's what I would be panicked about if I'm a Celtics fan, not the defense. I'd be more concerned who's scoring for you, because Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are doing it right now, but they can't keep up. You know, Jaylen Brown, I mean, as good as he's playing, I mean, can you expect him to keep up this pace all season? I certainly can't. So you're going to need other guys to start stepping up here, whether it's coming off the bench or whether it's one of the big guys.
Well, I'm worried about Jeff Teague. Do we have an update on that yet? I mean, he goes down.
I was going to transition into the second unit. Jeff Teague, obviously, he did look like an ankle injury. No update right now. I'm looking through Twitter, but if we come up with something, we'll certainly put that, let you guys know. But the second unit overall, guys, how do we feel? Of course, Pritchard. Listen, we talk about how he's so important defensively, but he had this 1 3-pointer where I was just like, man, that's just not what a rookie does. It was just put the ball on the floor, a couple of dribbles, right in front of your defender's face in the fourth quarter, and he just drains it. Like, this kid's confidence is something else. I mean, we knew that heading into it, but and now that Jeff Teague may be at least missing the next game, now that these guys have to go another back-to-back here, second night of back-to-back Monday against the Miami Heat. How do you feel about the second unit now as a whole? Pritchard, whether he's with or he's definitely going to be without Jeff Teague, but how is the second unit going to stay afloat?
Well, they're getting thin now. And all of a sudden,
I don't know if we can rely on Shemi making 3 threes every night. I don't know.
Oh, are they in Tampa tomorrow, Jimmy? Is it back-to-back?
Yeah, it's Tampa.
Back tomorrow?
Excuse me, Tampa. The
tomorrow,
Raptors,
baby.
Oh Lord, this schedule. But yeah.
Tampa,
I mean, so you're thinking Jeff Teague probably won't play tomorrow if he couldn't get back in this game late. I know there's only a few minutes left. Now we're down to 2, me versus Jimmy.
Let's go.
It's like the final boss. Joe Sway's back, but we're talking.
I got my floor teams mixed up. Sorry about that.
Pritchard's been a revelation for this team, and you would have thought a Teague injury at this point in the year, if he wasn't producing, would be all the more devastating. You'd be down to 1 point guard, so they can sustain this a little bit. But now you're talking about Grant coming back into that fold, probably in terms of bodies. Javonte Green is going to be out for the rest of the road trip, I believe, is what Steven said with this COVID protocol. So we're talking Grant, Pritchard, Rob. And whoever else you want to throw in there at this point. Does Neesmith get an opportunity now? I don't know.
Oh God, the age-old question. We're gonna ask that question every game, I think. Where's Neesmith tonight? But
they look good though. The second unit look good. To answer your question,
I think we're going to see some more Neesmith.
Yeah, if Teague's out, yeah, for sure. What's coming up now? It's Tampa and Miami. 2 tough-ish games here again to keep this road trip rolling. But I've been impressed with the second unit. Jimmy, we need you, middle here. Come on, even yourself out a little bit here.
Dude,
to the right.
Here's the problem: I can't see myself right now. Also, I can't hear Joe Way.
Like, a little bit to the right. A little bit to the right.
Oh, but you can't hear me.
Perfect.
But here's the thing, though. I'm gonna dip out and come back because I can't hear Joe Sway. But the one thing I want you guys to talk about while I'm gone. No Grant Williams tonight. Bobby, you mentioned Grant Williams off the top, and that was kind of interesting to not see him play.
Well, I wrote this morning for CLNS Media that the lineups are the biggest issue with this team, and the biggest issue with those lineups was Grant. And we talked about this, Joe Sway.
Mm-hmm.
He can't guard on that perimeter, and all of a sudden he's a -15 for this team, dragging down Tice's ratings, it seems like. John said no one wants to play with Grant because he's going to drag down your rating. And that's what it felt like for Tice. Tice had a decent game tonight. Grant doesn't play. And if you're not going to defend under Brad Stevens, we've said this before, you're not going to play. And he doesn't bring all that much on the offensive side of the court to make up for that. I mean, his start to this year has been so shocking with how poor it's been on the defensive side of the floor. And if he can't do that, he can't play. I mean, it was a good decision tonight.
I guess shocking is the right word to use because his footwork, I mean, it's just like what happened? You know, I just don't see the same quickness. It seems like he can't stay up. He can't keep up, excuse me, you know, and I think that's why, you know, I would have, especially in this Detroit back-to-back or these 2 game set, I would have loved to see some Javonte Green, see what he could bring, you know, with that lineup, because obviously that's someone that can keep up. He can defend. He knocked down a couple of threes. I don't know if there was more in preseason, but I mean, that's the one that gives you an upside, because Grant Williams just hasn't shown much of anything so far.
Yep, they're running thin. They are running thin in Boston. We have a sponsor, Josue. I think the read just got over to you. We
sure do. He just got it right now. All right, the new year is here. You already know, LinkedIn.com/scribe. This is our sponsor. If you haven't already, I don't know what you're waiting for. It's a brand new year, which makes a fresh new start for your small business. Right now,
pretty simple.
LinkedIn,
you need a job.
Active community of professionals. More than 722 million members worldwide. Post a job. LinkedIn will quickly get you your role for more qualified candidates, and do it faster. All right. So if you haven't already, LinkedIn.com/scribe. Get $50 off your first job post. That's right. Just because of us. Just because you tune into, you know, us, these clowns over here. The 3 of us. Head to LinkedIn.com/scribe.
If Nick shows up on this show one more time with that screen, he's going to have to hit up LinkedIn, because he's fired.
We did this morning.
I think we stormed him out of it, man. I don't know if he's coming back. I don't
know where he is.
We got his feelings hurt.
If you head over to CLNS Media on LinkedIn right now, we posted a Celtics intern opening. John has mentioned this on the previous shows. We're looking for Celtics interns with production experience, some level of video editing experience preferred, but you know, you're going to be able to do a little bit of everything here. Some writing, some production, some editing, press conferences, all that stuff. So we have openings right now. We're using LinkedIn to find a candidate, and that's the beauty of it. You know, we already have a bunch of people.
And because Bobby's the one weaving through that, for people who don't get the job, he has a UPS application, guys. For you guys. You know, we can make a little extra money during we got another week or so before the Christmas shopping dies down a bit. You know, the last minute guys are still getting their presents out there. So,
all right. Let's do final thoughts here, Jimmy.
Well, before we did final thoughts, I wanted to give you the floor to talk about your team that the Celtics are going to be playing tomorrow. I mean, what's going on in Tampa, formerly known as Toronto?
I watched them against New Orleans last night. It looked like a game they could win. I believe they're either 2-3 or 1-4 so far. You mentioned the Siakam situation. He is struggling mightily to start this year, and it breaks my heart. I mean, I was thinking of those teams in 2019 and 2020 last year. They were so competitive. They always figured it out. They stayed in every game. That's just not there with them tonight. And I got to say this, too. If Celtics fans were the GM of the Boston Celtics and the amount of hype that Aaron Baines had as the target this offseason, it would have been bad. It would have been ugly to start this year, because he's getting all the minutes at center in Toronto, and it's not going well. I mean,
not ideal situation.
So they don't have a ton of depth. Siakam's not playing well. What are you going to turn to there? They're thin. And that actually looks like one of the easier matchups that the Celtics have had to face this season. Detroit's more fully loaded and rolling than Toronto's been so far to start this year. And, man, the league really screwed them, send them to Tampa. Nick, you with us?
Feeling that they're going to go into this one with some, little extra oomph into it because of what happened between the Celtics and the Raptors? They're not going to forget, right, Bobby? And Van Fleet's been balling out. He's making that money. He's making that contract look worth every dime, at least up until now.
The problem there's Siakam.
OG could go off.
Siakam is broken.
What did Siakam do against the Celtics in that playoff series? Not a whole lot, and they're nearly
nothing.
The Celtics. So
that series might have broke him.
This is a tough matchup for the Celtics. Jimmy, where do you fall on this?
It's a tough matchup for sure because of what we know about the Raptors. But the way they're playing right now, they're struggling. Siakam is not himself. I'll be honest. I don't even know who Siakam really is. Is he the G Leaguer? Is he the NBA player? Did the Celtics break him? Did the Celtics break Nick Nurse? My guy, Nick Nurse, who's thinking about a call as we speak. I've never seen a guy complain more about balls in my life than Nick Nurse. So I'm sure I'm going to be reminded very quickly tomorrow how damn annoying Nick Nurse is on the sideline, especially without fans. I'll be able to hear him complaining from start to finish. But I think the Celtics go out there tomorrow, coming off a nice win today, despite what Nick Gelso wants to say about it. a little bit of momentum, and I'm expecting them to win the game tomorrow. Whether or not they do, who the hell knows? But I like what I'm seeing out of their top players. And again, like I said in the Celtics Raptors series, I'll take the Celtics talent over the Raptors talent, despite the fact that they're down a couple guys since that series.
I love that line. That should be the line for a lot of these Celtics games. Maybe they win. Who the hell knows?
I think Windhorst said a desperate team's going to step up and make that Harden trade, and it's hard to look at anyone that's going to be more desperate than Toronto with Masai Ujiri in the last year of his contract. That team aging a little bit. Do the Rockets want to do a little Kyle Lowry reunion? That's on the table there. So that is the team I'm looking at still and saying if any team's going to jump the gun and make an aggressive offer for James Harden, and then all of a sudden they're back in the East race. So I wouldn't count them out too soon. They're well coached, all that stuff. But, man, Siakam, at one point he would have been a premium trade piece, and his value has just dipped to absolutely nothing. And it kills me. Like I said, I love that team. I love their energy. I love the fan base. They've become fans of ours as well, mostly me.
We might get a big crowd tomorrow.
This is an important question then, Bobby. Did Jaylen Brown just snatch Siakam's soul away? Like, is Siakam never going to be the same because he played against Jaylen Brown in the playoffs?
There probably would have been people.
I can't believe this shit.
You with us, Nick?
Nick, I appreciate the effort, man, but I think I don't know, man.
Bobby, kick his ass off right now. Kick his ass off right now.
Final thought, Nick. Final thought.
Nick, you got us?
All right.
He's out here.
Nick, final thought.
Siakam's gonna.
Jimmy, final thought.
I just heard Joe Sway.
There you are. We got you.
Final thought.
We got you.
All right. I'm here for the final thought.
Better be good, man. No pressure, though. No pressure, Nick. None at all.
I will say this. John's way better than me. That's one final thought.
Hey, hot take.
That's not true. That's not true, dude.
UPS sucked this holiday season, Bobby.
I told you it's because I was on here. I was too busy doing these shows.
That's called loyalty, bro. That's called dedication. And no, truthfully, I can be tough on the team, but I'm optimistic. Listen, these kids are 22 years old. Get back Kemba this year. I think they could compete in the Eastern Conference. You've seen some, Bobby. You've been all over Brooklyn, and their record blew after 6 games. What's their record now?
I think they were 3-3. Yeah, everybody in the league's 500. It feels like
right, and I think so much needs to be said for these players. The bubble was one thing. You were contained, and you were determined to get through the season. But this is a whole new ball game, and these guys are going, on these road trips. Are stuck in Detroit for 4 days. There's a lot of crap going on we don't even know about between the testing and the restrictions. All in all, I'd say they're doing pretty good, and you can't really make an appraisal or an assumption until way further into the season, I'd say. Especially, Kemba's got to come back, and then they got to integrate him.
Yeah,
all right, we're approaching what, the 10-game mark here, or not approaching it, but you know what I mean. Where would you sort of put the benchmark? Where would you put the line? Where would you draw the line? 20 games, 15?
It all depends on Kemba.
Yeah, whenever Kemba gets back, that's who they're going to be.
I think you have to have some better continuity before he comes back, because realistically, we're talking what, game 20 something for Kemba?
Yeah, but at the same time, Joshua, that Kemba coming back is going to mess up that continuity. I mean, it's a standard thing when it comes to the NBA. It's been going on. I mean, you take Paul Pierce out of the lineup, team goes on a run, bring them back, they might struggle. This is commonplace. So, yeah, I'd like to see them get some sort of continuity, but I mean, guys, come on.
Well,
the bench sucks.
We're gonna get some.
All right, so much for that optimism. You got a little optimism in there, a little optimistic.
No, the optimism is this: the Celtics have top 5 duo in the NBA right now, and they're 22 years old, and everybody wants to kill Danny, kill Brad. They've been ahead of schedule so far.
I agree. I've said that.
Year. This season has been frustrating, mainly because I don't think it's a talent thing. I think it's a focus thing. And when I think about focus, I think about the elements I just brought up with, the COVID requirements and everything else. So Brad's got his work cut out for him, and we know he's an X and O's guy. He's got to motivate these guys and get them fired up. You think back, Jimmy, on the Doc Rivers days, those pregame speeches, we'd get pumped up. So the point is, I don't know what Brad's doing in the locker room before and after, and I think he's a hell of a good coach, but they need discipline and execution. Tonight they showed it. That's the takeaway.
Yeah.
And you get John back next game.
My
All right, Nick, you did good, but don't worry about it. Don't be so down on yourself. It's okay.
No, dude, I mean, I just got
Nick
loved it. Are you kidding me?
You're bumming me out right now. You sounded so.
I can't see the chat room. It's driving me crazy. I want to.
Oh, it's probably for the best. It's probably for the best.
No, I mean, I feel like Tanguay tonight.
These-
Now I know how Gary felt all those years.
Yo, commenters said.
Well, Nick, you didn't get a fair shake because you came in like from outer space or something with your. I don't know where you were calling in from, but you look better now.
Looking sharp.
Yeah,
Commenters said that team is being
iPad.
flipping
That's a
pies. It
brand-
sounds, yo.
brand
That's
new-
funny.
I mean, aside from the fact that you're probably 1 inch away from your video camera, you look okay. I mean, you can, don't be scared to step back for a second. But
No, take a step back.
We could just call this the Critique Gelso postgame show.
No. We just want you ready to go for the next time you're on. Assuming we have to make.
this time. You guys
back-
sat on chat with me for a half
Yeah.
hour.
And make sure I get my pizza ready at Sal's next time I come back.
Listen, we did an emergency call up from low A single A baseball, and we appreciate you coming on, and we
Right,
know that
right.
you'll be
I
ready to go
appreciate
next
that.
time.
But I do need. I love the ball busting. I do need to defend myself. That this ain't my first rodeo.
Tampa
It just seems
Bay.
that way. It just seems
Listen,
that
and
way.
Nick will be back, guys. Don't worry. Nick will be back.
At the end of the day, Nick could fire us all tomorrow, and we'll never be on the
No,
show
no,
again.
no.
So we do have to be careful.
This is the Nick Gelso show for all he wants.
Now that they've gutted NBC, everybody's gone. And I can't watch the Nationals.
All right, before we go down this road,
it's gotta
guys,
be
we
you
appreciate
guys.
everyone who
All
tuned
right.
in.
Thanks, Nick.
For Nick Gelso, Jimmy Toscano, Bobby Manning, I am Josue Pavone, guys. You already know where to find
Tampa
us.
Bay.
CLNS
Back
Media.
tomorrow.
All over
You guys
social
tomorrow
media. Rest up, fellas. Less than 24 hours. We're back at it. We'll be in front of the camera once again because that's the kind of season we had. It's a great season, though. It's going to be good, fun. Nothing but basketball every other day. So I'm pumped for it.
All right,
I'll
hey,
see you
have a
guys,
good Monday,
next
everybody.
week.
You guys cut early.